Welcome to Idea Success TV. Idea Success TV is your videocast that focuses on trends, practices, and solutions for moving ideas to action for both purpose and profit. Hear stories from people who have taken their ideas and brought them to reality to make an income and to impact the world. Be a part of ideation and pitch sessions. Learn about business trends and discover best practices and innovative ideas for bringing thoughts into reality and plans into action. And now, here's your host, Sylvia Henderson.
Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to Idea Success TV. I'm Sylvia Henderson, and this program episode I'm calling Idea Journey. I'm calling that because I interview people who have taken their ideas and have actually implemented them for profit and for purpose. You know, we learn about the journey from their ideas in their hearts and in their heads through the trials and tribulations of putting their ideas into action and the lessons that they've learned along the way and the lessons that they may have for you too. So my hope is that you see something that in my guest, you hear something in their story that you can relate to or that you can learn from, and that it helps you on your own idea journey. And so today, my guest is Phil Risher, and Phil Risher is the founder of YoungAdultSurvivalGuide.com. And his story is fascinating with some really important lessons, I think, for all of us. Phil, welcome.
Thank you, Sylvia, for having me. I'm very excited to be on the show.
I know, and Phil's energy level, you can just feel it. So Phil and I met each other through a local Toastmasters group, so we know each other a little bit. But I'm going to give you a little quick bio of Phil. Phil Risher is the founder of YoungAdultSurvivalGuide.com, where he helps college students and recent college grads take control of their finances and create the life that they want. Phil has recently done interviews with Yahoo Finance, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, and probably other groups, I'm sure, that you've interviewed. Phil's life motto is, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. So, that lesson carries through not just college grad, but for just about anybody who is trying to do something. Who has a wish, a goal, an idea, a dream, and gets stuck or allows themselves to get stuck.
I agree.
Yeah. So the reason that I was fascinated with Phil, just to fill in the viewers a little bit, how many people can graduate from college? How many parents have kids who can say that they are debt-free within a very short amount of time? And I'm sure you know the answer is not many. And Phil has done just that. And so I wanted him to share his story, not only that story, but how he took the idea to do this and turned it into a business, because that's kind of the whole point of ideas to action for profit. So Phil, I'm going to shut up and just say, so what, give a little backstory, and then how did you get debt-free?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again for having me on the show. Pretty much, I graduated college in 2012, about 5 years ago. And at that point, I had the average amount of student loans, which was $30,000. And at that point, in college, you make a couple $100 here and there. But when you graduate, now you have $30,000, and it seems like $1 million that you have to pay off. And so what ended up happening was I made it my mission to pay that off in the first 12 months after graduating.
Wow.
And so I had to figure out where I was going to live, what I was going to do. But ultimately, I set a goal for myself, and I said, how bad do you want it? Are you going to make excuses, or are you going to figure it out? Mm-hmm. And so I had the opportunity to move into my dad's basement. I never lived with him before, but I thought of how can I create some win-win opportunities. So I contacted him, and I said, can I move into your basement? And I'll cut the grass for you. You're getting a little older now. I'll, be a babysitter to the young kids that you have. I'll do ladder, gutter duty, and try to create some type of win-win so I could live there with no rent for the first year. And he said absolutely, which was a great opportunity, and I didn't want it to slip through my fingers.
Wow.
So at that point, I was working at a job, and I was making $48,000 a year, and I figured out how to budget my money so that each month I could pay $2,500 towards my student loans. So $2,500 times 12 is $30,000. After 12 months, bye-bye student loans. I was debt-free. And, there I am, a 23-year-old guy, has a job living in his parents' basement. And I thought to myself, that's a pretty awesome feat, but what can I do next? Like, what's next? If I can stick to this budget for a year, what can I do next? And so for the next 2 years, I did the same plan. At this point, I was making a little bit more money, and my stepmom, you got to give us a little bit of money here and there. It's not a free ride. You know how that works. And so I saved up for the next 2 years, and I had about $75,000 that I had saved up. So now I'm 25 with no debt, $75,000 in the bank. And so then I was able to buy my first place with cash in Montgomery County. I'm living in Montgomery Village now. So at 25, I have a place with no mortgage and no student loan debt. And this was prime time. And a lot of people ask me, even just today, I did another interview with someone else. They said, you could have made more money if you would have invested that, or you could have done this if you would have invested your money. But on the flip side, what you have to look at is now I can take as much risk as I want to start a business or to follow my dreams or to take an idea and turn it into a business, because what's the worst that could happen? I don't have any mortgage. I don't have any debt.
Wow.
And so that's where I'm at.
Do people ask you, though? Okay, so I'm thinking, do you feel you've missed out on something?
As far as?
Just, so saving means or implies anyway that you didn't do the things that college grads do. So, your friends are maybe off doing this or off getting that, and you're saving.
Yeah, so that's a frequent question that I get. So I'll tell you a couple different ways that I was able to strategically have fun.
Okay.
As I call it. There's a couple minimalist habits that I got labeled as a minimalist somehow, but pretty much the first one that I found out was I need to figure out something that I like to do that's free and that's fun.
Okay.
So what I found was I really enjoy hiking. So instead of going out and window shopping at the mall to get some exercise, now you want to go out and go hiking and enjoy the nature. And then you can actually cut out a gym membership because you're getting your exercise from hiking, doing some inclines and stuff like that. But also, a lot of times, you're 22, you want to go out and hang out with your friends, go to the bar or whatever. I was strategic with this. I would be the designated driver, and I would ask them to pay me for gas. So I would go out and have fun. You don't necessarily have to spend all your money, but then you'd also get some money for gas, so it's a win-win. So when you look at different opportunities, I definitely had fun. People say you missed out. I did not miss out. I had a lot of fun. I definitely had a lot of fun. You can ask my friends. But I always look to create win-win situations and take advantage of all the opportunities that I'm given, and I'm grateful for those opportunities for sure.
Who taught you this, or are you self-taught? Now, who taught you?
Yeah,
this?
So my parents were divorced growing up. We didn't have a ton of money. We weren't dirt poor. But when I was 14, 15, my mom did something that was very innovative. So any viewers that are parents, I definitely recommend doing this. At the age of 15, instead of her being the ATM parent, where I'm going out with my friends, can I have $20? I'm going here, can I have $30? I want a new shirt, blah, blah, blah. She decided that she was going to give me $100 every month, and then I had to budget my money to spend it how I like. So if I want to go out with my friends, go ahead, have fun. But you have your $100. You want a new shirt? Go ahead. Now, she would buy me the essentials, but anything additional, it wasn't just me going to her asking for money. Well, as you can think, I'm a 15-year-old kid. At the age of 16, I overdrafted my account in front of all my friends at a pizza place. Talk about embarrassing, right? That's the ultimate embarrassment. A 16-year-old kid with his friends and his debit card declines. And I thought it was a credit card. So I asked the guy, I said, there's unlimited funds, it's a credit card. And so I go back to my mom, yeah, this card's not working. And then come to find out it's a debit card.
That's right.
And come to find out I have an overdraft fee I have to pay now. And so this life lesson, at the age of 16 can be easily corrected, opposed to me going out to college and getting a legit credit card and having credit card debt $5,000, or even worse, I'm in the real world and I don't pay my student loans and I'm in debt. And then it's just prolonged. So to parents that are listening, I strongly recommend letting your kids fail as soon as possible, especially with money, when they're in your hands and you can correct that action. And so that was with me. The other opportunity that I had was my mom signed us up for this program called Financial Peace University, which is an author by Dave Ramsey, and he teaches you how to change your family tree. And those two things put together was just music to my ears.
Okay, yeah, because some of that does come from your background, not necessarily parents, but the whole way you live, the whole way your family lives and makes decisions influences you.
Absolutely.
You know, so okay, so you did this.
Yes.
So how does this become a business?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is that from what I found is that a lot of businesses look to solve a problem or what's going on. And obviously we know there's the epidemic with student loans, right? People defaulting, the millennials that are lazy and entitled, the 20-year-olds that are still living on their parents' couch. All these things are a culmination of whatever the circumstances were. So there's a problem. Well, what ended up happening was my girlfriend, she's a teacher in Montgomery County, and a lot of teachers, they have to have their master's degree to be a teacher. Okay. And if you don't know, they don't pay teachers enough.
I think that's everywhere. In fact, we're probably better off than many, but yeah.
Yeah, so they don't pay teachers enough, let alone to pay off their student loans because they have a master's degree. So my teachers, my girlfriend's teacher friends would reach out to me, Phil, can you help me with my budget? You did all these things. Can you help me with this and that? And so I thought, okay, why don't I start a blog and I'll put my budget template online.
Wow.
I'll put a 5-step guide, which I didn't even really know what I did. I just saved up some money and I bought this place. I started to think about, how did I set goals? How did I stick to my goals? Because that's a big problem. How did I execute on this every day to look long term?
Yeah.
And so then I started to develop this 5-step guide and I put that on the blog. As my story, as I just shared, started to get out, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It started to go to different news outlets and doing interviews at different places. And I had the opportunity to be brand ambassador for different companies and just a lot of cool stuff that, you never think just sharing your story and allowing people to influence people, it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing.
So did the brand ambassadorship come from just your speaking about it? I mean, how did companies find out and then ask you to be their ambassador?
Yes, so, through social media. One aspect was through social media. I have a pretty big social media. I'm always on social media. But I ended up connecting with a company in D.C., and obviously we're in Washington, D.C. area as well. So I reached out to them and said it'd be awesome if we could get together because they're a savings company, and I'm all about saving and setting goals and budgeting. And let's get together and see if we can do a collaboration. And so, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. I reached out to them, and I set up an opportunity to go out and talk with them, and it just continued to grow from there. I'm doing a webinar in a couple weeks with them for their viewers, and hopefully I'll be speaking at colleges with them to get the word out there because they're target audience millennials as well. So that's just one ambassadorship. The other one...
Hold on to that for just 1 second because we're talking to entrepreneurs and to people who are in business. So you just said something that essentially you went out and asked. You found a targeted company or who wants some of the same market that you're a part of.
Yeah.
And you asked. I mean, how many times do we not do that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, keep going.
Well,
it's just like people needed to hold on to that.
Yeah.
For those like, well, I don't have money, where I can't finance. Well, nobody will sponsor me.
Yeah.
I mean,
so one big step that I have in my 5-step guide is to have a daily creed of keeping your goals top of mind. And the one thing that I say in there is if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And I know it's a cliche type thing, but I say that to myself every day. Okay. Every morning when I look in the mirror, I say, if I don't ask, it's a no. So you might as well ask the question, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah. Sometimes I ask, what's the worst that's going to happen? Yeah.
Yeah, what's the worst? The second opportunity for the ambassadorship was through, I was in an article by this company, and I found the article, and I ended up tweeting at the company the article, and I said, thanks for letting me be a part of this. Okay. And then their marketing manager contacted me and said, we love your story. We'd love for you to be our ambassador. We're going to send you some gear. We're going to do an article about you, and we want you to be a part of us. And so that's really, you got to make stuff happen. You're in an article. You got to tweet at the company. You got to direct message these people, email them, call them, kind of whatever you got to do. You got to figure it out.
So that wasn't even a sales thing. That was just showing appreciation.
That was really just showing appreciation, and then hopefully they would retweet my tweet and share it with their readership, and they would see my name on there. But then it just kind of grew into something else.
So what kind of a business then are you? I mean, you're speaking about being debt-free.
Yeah.
How else have you made this into a business?
Yeah, so through my blog, there's several affiliate partnerships that I have with these companies. So when people go to my blog, if they use any of their tools, then I get a certain profit point.
Okay.
I'm also going to be speaking at colleges next year, and so that'll be a paid portion of it. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Affiliate marketing is really big on websites right now, and so that's predominantly how it's working. I'm also going to be speaking to a local detention center, doing a finance curriculum for them. So it's just kind of growing and growing and growing.
Wow. So where do you see this going from here?
I mean, ultimately, I want to go wherever there's a need. So the biggest need right now is in colleges and high schools. High schools, talking to these kids before they get into $100,000 in student loans and letting them know that there might be an alternative way. And then also going into colleges and letting them know that when you graduate, it's not all unicorns and butterflies. You're going to have to do some hard work and get off your parents' couch. And
Even though you came home to be on your parents. That's what I find ironic.
if you're on your parents' couch, it's okay. But parents, it's temporary, okay? It's not until they're 30 or 40 thing. That happens. That happens.
I know.
You got to turn them loose sometime. So that's the idea. If you want to be on your parents' couch, it's only temporary. You have to have an ulterior motive and a goal.
So, okay, so you're a millennial.
Yeah.
And I hate labels, but let's face it, I'm a boomer, so, what the heck. A lot of what you did and how you think is inside you. How do you impart that to another millennial? How do you teach somebody to have those values, or can you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So millennials have it. They have it to be determined because you see that they're determined to stand up for something they believe in, right? Millennials cry babies about something, or they want to do this or that, or they're doing a march or a protest today. They have the desire, right? What I've done and what a lot of my friends have done as well is they've taken that desire and they turn it into a passion to share it with people. And that's really the turning point that we'll all get to at one point. But for outsiders to look at millennials, we look as crybabies, or we look at as people that they're not realistic. They think they're going to be photographers the rest of their life. The thing is that we're passionate about something.
Right.
Boomers, sometimes they just see their normal 9 to 5, 40 hours a week for 40 years, and that's what they see. It's not no one's wrong. It's just a different way of doing things. We walk the same path. We have on different shoes.
Yep.
We're all in life, but we do it different ways, and that's okay. So for millennials, it's take that passion and then turn it into something that you really love. If you want to get your voice out there, start a blog. If you want to be a speaker, start a YouTube channel. If you want to be an Instagram person, be an Instagram person. I mean, there's so many opportunities, and the crazy thing about it is that most of them are free.
Yeah.
For my blog, the startup charge is $130, and I've been able to do all this. That's the only thing I've spent, and I've been able to get ambassador.
Wow.
Been ambassador here, do that. It's not as hard as they make it sound, and I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we make it so hard that it becomes hard. Instead of just saying that it's easy, let's figure out how to do it.
Okay. Cool. Do you help people do that, or that's not really part of your business?
So that's another avenue that I've started with, is kind of just mentoring new people into it. Like, let's find your passion. What is your passion? Let's figure out how you're gonna go into that route. So one guy that I was talking to, he lives in Texas. He's a newfound vegan, and so he wanted to start a YouTube channel about his journey and share it with other people. So we've been talking back and forth. What's your passion? What's your goal? What's your plan to get there? And that's another avenue that I really enjoy doing, is mentoring other millennials and people and getting to what they want.
Okay, you can mentor a couple of us baby boomers too who don't think that way. Because I'm thinking, when I got started in the speaking profession, it was all kinds of money to get a speaker bureau and all kinds of investment to get people to, you had to go places to get people to know who you were and what your message is. And you had to have all kinds of collateral because, of course, we didn't have the internet when we first started. And, I mean, you said, well, just if you want to be a speaker, just get a YouTube channel. I'm thinking, okay, that was kind of easy.
So that's the thing, is that there's so many free opportunities that are at our fingertips. We just have to want it bad enough to do it. We can't make excuses that our camera's not good. We can't make excuses that our mics aren't good enough. I have a YouTube channel and I do it on my iPhone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the best, but it's all about the content and your story and your real and your passion coming through to people and showing them that it's not about the glitz and the glamour. It's about real life. It's not about this cool thing that I got. It's real life.
So if there's a tool, one or two tools that you would say, hey, check these tools out because they may help you with marketing or social media or whatever, what would they be?
Absolutely. The first one is called helpareporter.com.
Harrow. Okay.
Harrow, yep. And that was influential. So the one company that I tweeted at, that was through Harrow. A reporter was writing an article.
Okay.
The article came out. I tweeted it at the company. Then the brand manager found me. And that has been influential with backlinks. So every time that they put youngadultsurvivalguide.com, the backlink goes to my website. I've had 4,000 or 5,000 views just from one backlink alone.
Wow.
In a month.
And so for viewers, now Harrow is sort of a subscription service. You sign up for it and you get you say what categories or whatever your expertise is in, and then you get notices daily in your email if you let it.
3 times a day. You can pay for the subscription. I do the free subscription, and
So did I.
so it's free, and it's a resource for you to show that you're an expert in your field. That way, when people come on your website, they see as seen on this specific media outlet, and it instant that you're a professional and you know what you're talking about.
Cool.
So that would be one. The second thing, I wouldn't really say it's a resource. It's just how bad do you want it? If you want something bad enough, you'll figure it out. If not, you'll find an excuse. I would ask yourself that with whatever your challenge is today or whatever you're going through this week, if it's something that you don't want bad enough, then just cut it out and go to something that you really want. Because sometimes I know as me, as an entrepreneur and on my blog and on my website, there's things that I want to do, but I keep putting it off every day, every week.
Okay.
I'm sure you can relate.
Oh, yeah.
I ask myself, do I really want this bad enough, or is it just something that I need to move on to the next thing? Because if you just keep pushing it off, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So figure out what you want to do and then just do that.
Yeah,
right?
Sometimes people say they can't decide, or it seems like inaction is better than deciding something and then being wrong. And it's like, no, inaction is a decision.
Yeah.
It's a decision not to go forward.
Yeah, and you can learn, as entrepreneurs, we all know this, you can learn so much from your failures. If I were to go back and start from the beginning that I've been doing this, it would take me a second to get to this point because you already know what works and what doesn't, and you can attest to that.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing going in the next year or 2 years. You got to make those failures and then keep going.
Awesome. Any last words you want to, if you had a whole room full of people who were like, oh, how can we be successful in business or life? Any final words? Because you've been telling us all along.
Yeah, so on my blog, for any new subscribers, I give them my goal-setting checklist. And what that helps them do is to come up with some goals, because so many times we go through life and it's the rat race. You go to school, you get good grades, go to college, get good grades to get a good job, and then you get another new car, a new house, and you're following into what is going on. You're not actually setting goals for yourself. And so what I like to do is to tell people you can't live the dream unless you have a dream. So what is your dream? What is your dream? What is your goal for today, for your life, for the week, for the month? Have some goals. And I would leave it with that. Have a goal and execute.
Yeah. And just like you did when you calculated, because there's a gap between have the goal and execute it. And it's that gap that so many times people don't fill and I see that a lot with taking ideas to action. There's a whole space in there. And sometimes so once you're determined and want it bad enough, you calculated it so that you could piece by piece reach that goal. You didn't just make $35,000 and pay it off at once. You said it's going to take this month, this month, and then what do I need to do this month to make these things happen?
Yeah.
I think that's so important to being in action.
Yeah, and I think specifically you got to get out of here and get it onto here and figure out. You have a plan, but let's figure out how you're going to get there. And that's what it's all about. Get a goal and figure out how you're going to get it.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And it's just so heartwarming to know that generations following us baby boomers, there's hope.
There's hope. Trust me, there's hope.
Okay, Phil. Your website has been showing below you on the screen, but just say what
Youngadultsurvivalguide.com.
All right.
You can contact me there. Instagram, youngadultsurvivalguide.com. Twitter, YA Survival Guide. I look forward to talking with everyone. I respond to 100% of my emails. So I would look forward to speaking with you if you have any questions about anything.
Excellent. So thanks for being here with me today on Idea Success TV, and I appreciate you coming out, being here physically in person, spending the time with me, spending the time with viewers, listeners, because they can listen to this as a podcast too. So, if you like what you heard and what you saw on this episode, then there's more Idea Success TV programming that's at ideasuccess.tv, and you've seen that website on the screen. We've got a large distribution network. I've got this program is distributed on several different online and broadcast platforms. So, and they're all listed at our website. So I invite you to connect with me as soon as this program's over, while it's still on your mind, so that you stay updated on programming from Idea Success TV and on the resources and the tools from my collaborative partners, because I share, that's what collaboration is all about. I share other resources that all are focused on what I'm focused on, which is getting your ideas that are in your heart and in your head out and in action, just like we've been talking about. And to not just give you theory, but to actually give you a blueprint for taking those small steps over time that lead to your big goal. So you've got ideas. My passion, my purpose in life is to serve you to make your ideas a reality. And so I say, make a great day.
Thank you for watching Idea Success TV. Idea Success TV is a syndicated production of the Idea Success Network and Village Connector Media, the People's Prosperity Network. Permission to share, repost, and rebroadcast is freely given, provided it's done without charge of an access fee. If you have questions about this broadcast, or if you'd like to be a part of an upcoming segment, please contact us at Idea Success TV Contact. Thank you for listening and watching Idea Success TV.